So here is one, and Jason has started to do just a tiny bit of work on it already. I do like to keep a tab open for the front and for the back so that I can kind of pop back and forth and see my results as I publish things. So as you can see here, currently right now, there's this big thing down the side, which we'll be getting rid of. This should only be showing up on the archive page. So we're not going to do too much to it. There's several things that need to be updated here. Obviously, it's stupid that it says blog at the top of every single one of them. I don't know why they have that. But yeah, we're not looking to get with probably any of these, anytime you end up doing this on a blog post. This is not about getting like uber creative. This is just about making it read well and be clear and giving the eye direction down the page so that people can make sense of it more quickly. Blogs often end up being an ugly experience, and for our marketing clients and for ourselves, we just want it to be a nicer one. So typically there would already be some, style elements in place for the blog, and we'd want to follow those with a previous one. But in the past, these have just been, sort of haphazardly entered by Taylor herself and written by her as well. So they vary in length wildly, and the amount of styling she's done on each one varies wildly, and I don't know, they're kind of all over the place. So we're just looking to bring some standardization and a little bit of appearance improvement to all of these. So yeah, the first thing I would look at here is this numbering thing. I don't know, this picture definitely does help. Sometimes, yeah, I know you did. Sometimes too, just adding some returns and stuff to these things helps as well. So let's just go and look at the numbered section here. So Stephanie, these are rows. Each one of these is a row, kind of like an Excel sheet, and each row can also be divided up into columns. There are standard fractional relationships here, but you can also sort of write your own. They have to follow the rules, of thirds, fourths, fifths. Fifths aren't included here, but you can do that. And sometimes they're only written one way. Like here, we've got 1/4, 3/4, but it's not shown the other way around if you wanted to flip-flop these. So you can come right here to custom, and then you can say, and then when you hit update, you can see that it's added a column over here. Yeah, it's... Yeah. And so then within these, you can add whatever you want. When you can hit the plus on these guys to add an element to here. So when you hit that, is my recording interfering with this? Oh, there we go. You get, this list of tools here. Now, mostly what you'll be using for a blog and for most things is just the text block and the single image. Sometimes it's handy to add some empty space so that you can add a buffer to the top or bottom of a row. Give yourself a little bit of extra room. You can explore these later, or if we do more trainings, we can talk about them more. But for the most part, it's just going to be text block or single image, I think. You can also, if you want something, to duplicate something, like you can take these things and you can just, right here is where you can edit them. So you click on the little pencil and it comes up. And if we wanted to change what this picture is, we could just X this out and then add a new image from the media library. Pick whatever we want, or we can upload a brand new file here. We can also duplicate any of these things or drag them around. So here's the edit, here's the duplicate, and it'll make you another one exactly like it. That can be handy if there's styling applied to an image. Let's say it has, an outline all the way around it that's been applied with CSS or some other thing, and you don't want to have to reproduce that even if you know how, then you can just duplicate it, move this somewhere else, and then just change the image. Saves you a number of steps.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
And then, of course, if you want to edit the text as well, you can just hit the little pencil button here. It comes up. It looks and acts a lot like Microsoft Word. You can give yourself more room to work with here. Resize this window, and within here you can give yourself more space as well. This stuff is fairly typical within here. If it's only showing you one row of tools here, this toggle toolbar, will give you the second row of additional options down here for some extra formatting options.
I have a question with the formatting.
Yep.
With your header,
There is, but that's CSS. I mean, I fiddle around with CSS now and again, but what we want to do is have a developer do that using the style sheet. So no, because that's supposed to all cascade throughout the thing. So all H2s look the same and all H1s look the same. So if you're copying and pasting from a Word document or from really anywhere else, you want to use this paste as text tool so that you're not bringing in external formatting. Sometimes if you're pulling in from a Word doc, it can actually try to bring in the font. It can bring in text sizes and stuff, and you wouldn't see it unless you went to the HTML view, how those are being applied. You might not even see them here until you publish. So if you just hit this, it'll give you that little warning that it's going to keep doing that until you turn it back off again. It stays depressed. So every time you paste in at that point, you're basically erasing the formatting that came with it originally. Yeah, if you need to add a link, you can just highlight your text, come right up to the Insert Link button. It'll give you this, which, I don't know. I think it's generally a lot easier and better to come right over here to this Link Options button. And then you can either pick from it if you're linking within the site right here, and you can easily search for it. It gives you a page, and then you can click it, and it writes the URL for you right up here so that you don't have to go find it on the front end. If you're linking to an external site, you would just want to go, even if it's super simple, you would just want to go to that page, copy it, paste it. Oh, it's all right. Paste it in there. And then you'd want to check this open link in a new tab button. Since it's external, that's what writes the code for the, blank page for the link so that it would open in a new page. Yeah, the rest of these are pretty self-explanatory. We don't like to do a ton of little things like this within a paragraph, but sometimes it's appropriate. So, there's bold and there's italic and, of course, bulleted lists, numbered lists. If you are doing these headlines, be aware that that is for everything within returns. So I can't just come here and make part of this a headline. It's going to apply it to the whole paragraph. Yeah. Any of this, if you get too far into it and you've done this and you can close this without saving your changes. Same thing if you make it to this and you're like, oh God, what have I done? You'd have to hit save draft or publish to have that go to the front end of the site. So I can literally just hit refresh here and I will lose all of those changes that I just made that I don't want. Yeah, it won't, it'll only undo certain kinds of actions back here. So yeah, any of these items you can drag from one element to another. Let's see. So we can also add lines and shading backgrounds. Those are the two main things probably that we would use in a blog. So you can see right here we've got some lines. We can also add some shading if we wanted to. This is how we edit the row, which is that whole thing within this gray shaded outline here. And that affects, the element here, not the content within it. So if I do something to this row and I move this text block down and move this text block up, that formatting is going to stay on this row, not the text block itself. So we can come right up here, click that little pencil guy, and here on Design Options, we can select a border color and put in, border widths for the different sides, which is what's been done here. We added a red border top and bottom. Or we can add a background color. So let's just try like a very light gray. And then here, where it says row stretch, we can say stretch row, and we'll see what that does. Now in this instance, since they're drafted, we want to keep them drafted. We don't want to hit the publish button, or it would make it live in the blog. If you do accidentally do that, you can always change it back. I'll show you how to do that in a second, but we just hit Save Draft. We come here to the front end. We can hit Refresh. And here is our gray box behind this guy. We can find that again easily. It puts the little color right next to this thing here so that we can see which row we've applied it to, this tiny little dot. Yeah, so typically when I put stretch row, what it should do is push this all the way across, but it's not doing it because of this guy here. So that's not going to work in this instance. So yes, you are correct. In order to not have this butt right up against here, we could come right here again to Design Options. And we could say, let's put 40 and 40. Top and bottom looks to be fine. So padding, that's inside the border of the thing. Margin means we want to push things that are outside further away from it. So in this case, this is like the pad inside of the border. Boy, this thing is really not the best example. I guess we're learning what we can't do here on this one. Yeah. It shouldn't matter, but yeah, okay, we're going to have to forego shading on this one. I guess we'll just stick with some lines. Those are some basics. I think for now that we'll try to actually get a few things done. We'll just see what we can do to improve the appearance of this thing. So for now, we'll take the shading off of here. Oh, maybe that was... there... There is. So one of the things that you can do, so if you're talking about this space in here, you don't have to use padding for that. Yes, so you can come right up here again to this edit the row thing. And then right here where it says column gap, we can increase the column gap. And if we hit refresh here, you can see we get a little bit better separation between these two. We can also, on this, select content position. And we can select equal height, which is also going to help. Yeah, it still is having, it's because the line height on whatever this is being set with, from the style sheet. You can see it right here in the text block. It's already there. So again, that can be a handy one for, doing something like this. We can come right in here. We can say empty space. Sometimes I prefer this because, it's a completely visible. You don't have to come into the row and go to that design tab and see that 10 pixels has been applied. You can see it right here without having to go click into anything. Better. Yeah, it can be a pain. So I think I figured this one out. Let's see here. Let's go back down here to the gray area. Let's go back. Design options. Let's give this back to 40 again. There we go. So yeah, those are a few basics for getting around in this thing. I mean, I don't know that we've really improved the look of it that much at the moment, but those are some of the tools for yes. For sure. Yeah. 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 And for something like this, I mean, I don't know, Stephanie, you're probably never going to have to like figure it out as you go like we're doing right now. Typically what we do once we get these styles set, we have little templates that we set up, which would show right here. You can click this template and there's nothing showing here right now, but we would name them obvious things that you would be able to tell by looking at a previous blog. It would say like red line top and bottom. And then you could click that and it would put a content box in there with some stand-in text with that thing applied. And then you could just throw your own text in there. Once we get it figured out, we usually have little templates in here that make it a lot easier to set this stuff up so that you're not like poking and prodding at it like we are right now to kind of figure it out on the fly. Like I said, if you do accidentally publish a blog post and it goes live and that's, bad and you're like, oh God, I didn't mean to do that. Right here it says status published. You can come right back up here and turn it back into a draft. Hit OK, hit update, and it goes right back into draft mode so that you can take it back. I do it all the time. I still do it all the time. I accidentally publish stuff. it can be confusing because if you scroll down, well, of course, it's not doing it to me right now. I don't know what's affecting it, but sometimes this publish button, maybe WordPress did an update. It used to, when you scrolled down, it would say update instead of publish, and so it would get confusing, and I would hit that. But so don't get confused by it. Anyway, they seem to have changed how it works. But all right, so coming back up here. Yeah, so I think, yeah, if we bump this. Oh, we've got it as an image gallery. So let's not do that. Single image. I don't know if that's, it might appear just the same. I don't know that you've done anything. Set this to full. Yeah, it'll fill the space. It'll choose the right size for you. So there we go. It didn't affect the appearance at all. Let's just add a little tiny bit of space to the top. What, like 20, 25 pixels? Better. All right, so I think that's fine. I like this line top and bottom thing that we accidentally did yesterday, Jason. We can see that the spacing is a little bit uneven, and it is turning into a little bit of a word wall here. And so I think we need a tiny little headline call out or something in here. So I don't usually mess much with Ashley's text once it's been approved, especially by the client, but adding sometimes we can pull the text out of here and make a headline, but we can also just make a harmless little headline and put it in here if it needs it. Every once in a while, Ashley's writing for content and she doesn't see it on the page, and so sometimes I will add a headline to help break it up. So let's see, that was, in fact, this guy right here. So we can come here. We can either add a text block that's a headline. We also can do what's called a custom headline, which is really handy. It gives us control over the alignment, the font size, and yes, Jason, the line height, if we do want to do that, the color. The only thing that can be confusing about this is that you do have to, when you're using this, select this, yes, use the default font family. You will realize it if you don't do it because this is what it defaults to. So it becomes really obvious right away that you haven't checked this little button. Well, that's just the preview, but yeah. So don't go playing with all of these available fonts in here. Let's always use the default font family. Let's see. I got my little tool here. Sample the color. Okay, not too bad. It's a little too big. Let's come back here and just... The turning off the camera does seem to help, huh? So we looked at this and it's a little too large. So we're just gonna, since we use this custom headline, we can I'm not sure exactly what that is, but let's try this. Yes, yes, I think we will. So you can see this isn't even all that much, but it has definitely helped. I think it makes it a little better to look at. Sure. This is one of the things, Jessica is really going to want consistency. So it's just once we land on something like this, we have to, especially when we're first trying it out, we'll have to make sure that it works for most circumstances. I think this is going to work just fine, but we don't want to encounter another circumstance and then make it a different size. We would need to go back and make them the same. Yep. And so again, so that we wouldn't have to redo all of that stuff, what we can do, we just duplicate this thing. And then we would just throw your text from here into there, and then we don't have to find the color again. We don't have to figure out the size again. We just copy, paste, delete the old one. Yeah. So we can affect the line spacing on this. That's fine. So let's go ahead and what did I not do right there? Huh. It won't, there's something marked important in the style sheet. I think it's not letting us overwrite it. Yeah, I don't know I don't know enough to look at that. Let's see, which one is this? This is H2. All right, so you can come back here. That one is going to let us overwrite it, so let's do a 2 here. There we go. It's a little bit better. I don't like the boldness of it, but I don't think I can do anything about that. Let's put this to 1.5 instead. It's because I've got this, I split this column. That's why it's returning early. So we come back up here. We just hit this to 1, 1, and it goes all the way across. Ta-da! So, I know it seems like it took a long time to do that, but it's going to go quicker now. I don't know that I like the boldness of these. Let's see, what can we do here? Yeah, it just seems like too heavy. Well, let's take a look at what it is. It's an H3. and the H2. So I think maybe let's go back to this. I think that works pretty well. So we would just take this out of here. And I did a cut, not a delete on that, by the way. Home improvement is on the rise. Yeah, that doesn't work, does it? Let's make it smaller. Oh no, I don't know about the red next to the red. Maybe we could try the Is there a gray already on here? Yes. And all sixes. It's the devil's color. Okay, I think that works. So now we can duplicate this guy, drag it down here, pull this out. Oh, wait a second. I made a mistake there. Okay, duplicate this. Yeah. I don't think the random gray box works, obviously. But I do think we need more interest going on down here. I don't know. Are pictures really the answer? Let's get rid of the gray for starters. It does. Okay, so maybe behind on special order projects for outdoor spaces. Coming weather may be ideal for getting your space ready for summer. Maybe let's get an actual product photo in here Oops. So let's go and see what they got for pergolas. It can provide some mottled shade, right? Not complete shade. Okay, so we want one that's nice and horizontal like this, I think. Let's do this. That's good. And then we can come right back here, and we'll put it right in between 4 and 5. But I am going to just crop it a little real quick. Let's see here what we got. Oops. So between 4 and 5, let's just add another row. And we're going to add a single picture here. This might be too much, we'll see. Yeah, there's been a bunch of updates to this WordPress core. This is crazy. This all looks different. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. I think that works.
That was good.
And then maybe we can do the gray thing or some, either the red. Maybe
that's a call. That's a call out down there.
Yeah, the red one, don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. That is on the home improvement is on the rise. So we go back here to the row, and we check this out. There's quite a few settings there. So 2 pixel weight, 40 and 15, and the red color here. Let's grab that.
So is it going to be like a red, white text?
So we've got a 2 pixel border, 40, 15. Border color is the red. Border style is solid. Save.
Oh, okay.
There we go. And maybe we do this guy here too. Home improvement is on the rise. We keep that same style. I can drag this all the way down here if my recording thing will let me do it. Yeah, not terrible.
Yeah, needs to be spaced out a little bit.
I think let's just do this instead. We're going to do... So here is another tool in the tool belt is the button. So right now they have this really boring in-text link that you can barely see, and we're at the end of the page. We really want them to click somewhere and do something. So let's just go ahead and make that a button instead. And before I even try styling anything, there might already be something in here that's going to style it. So I think we'll just start by putting the link in. And so no styling. So we'll just give it some color. Uh-huh. Copy that. Come back down here. Custom background. It's the red. Text. It's white. Save. Save. Ta-da! Much better.
So it asks you, I guess, when you it asks
Mm-hmm. All right, I think that is going to have to be it. I got 10 minutes before the meeting. I need to do the other one real quick. So I hope that was helpful. I know I went really fast at times, but I think some of, we'll do another one of these at some point, and maybe be a little more focused on the learning rather than just getting one done. But yeah, I mean, I think you can see, all it is that we're trying to accomplish is just making it look professional and easy to read. So yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye. All right. Sorry, it used to put the thing in a different place. The so-and-so is waiting in the waiting room or whatever.
I'm going to be present, and I'm happy to contribute as is needed, but
Yep.
You said that you thought this was going to be a long one. This is so
Yes, but, you know, she has opinions on stuff. You know, I think she's going to love it, but she often has things to contribute and things to say. And so I think, you know, I've got 2 versions of the specials page. I did a rework of it that I think is better. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't even show V2. I've got a fence landing page. I've got a fence sub page, and I've got a blog archive page in addition to the home page and the mega menu to show. So it did. I started off just kind of like doing like I would do for a video and doing a training. And then I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Now I have to shift gears because I have to actually get something done. So this is just now going to be me kind of like working it through. I was like, you're my little baby dog. Okay, come on, get up there. Maybe turn off your camera. Turn off your camera. Hi. Good. How are you? Jessica is going to be joining us. She's there, but she had to pick up a client call, so she turned off her video for the time being. Nice. Great. Yeah, I don't have quite as much as I was hoping for, but it's still there's several pages to show here. Some of them slight, some of them fairly significant. So we'll just get into it here. I'm going to start by showing the existing site, so don't think this is me trying to be funny. So one of the things I just wanted to prepare you for, we talked about moving these to the footer, which we did, and I had a lot of trouble trying to figure out what to put in here, and in the end decided that really nothing was best. So we just completely simplified this upper area and took that whole thing out of here. So we have the much simplified logo, very streamlined navigation. Where things didn't seem to need to be touched, we left them as is. So, we wanted to keep your brand in place as much as possible. The navigation, we're proposing a fairly significant update to how this works. So right now you just have very simple drop downs, and we're thinking maybe that a mega menu might be a nice option. So it would be progressive. It would start here. Then, once you chose, hovered over cedar, it would give you the options here. And then, it would show you kind of an example of what that is. So, when you went to lattice top or to picture frame or whatever it might be, it's going to give you a visual of what that is. And the idea here being, again, hopefully getting people directly to those pages, so it's a lot fewer clicks for them to get there and see that stuff. There's a couple of ways we can do it on mobile. I wanted to see what the response was here before I tried to expand this to a visual representation of what the mobile experience would be. I assumed you would like this, but okay. So just to see this kind of in action, here is, an example site that uses this kind of function for a multi-column, being able to choose things. Okay. That's exactly right. Yep. We had talked about, giving some more, prominence to the specials. We talked about maybe even putting that in the banner. I wasn't sure exactly what to do here. I kind of left it as is, except for maybe just adding a button here. I don't know if that's quite enough or if we need to consider this some more. But we also, of course, then moved this up here to the very top. So it's a combination. Oh, sorry, I don't know what happened to the phone number there. That's my mistake. No big deal. So the other idea here that we talked about, which we'll move on to later, is that these, in the mock-up, I have combined location and specials pages into one entity so that they're not going one place to find the map and the phone number and all of that stuff and another place to see the specials. So we would potentially merge them together. We still have the form very close to the top, but I always thought it was kind of odd to do it right off the bat without giving them some other options first. So we just moved it down one notch here. And we put it right next to the customer reviews. Gave a little style upgrade to that. A little carousel here so that they can see a few of them before they click to go and see more. Yes, yes. No, yeah, the Google reviews we'll see later, but because you have 5 locations, your Google reviews are location specific. So we put those again on these specials / locations pages. Moving down, we gave a little bit of an upgrade to this. I kind of left it as is, but this would now have a hover on it. So again, they could get directly to a subcategory instead of landing on a DEX or fencing page that has just another option for another click. So again, we get them closer. It seemed like too much to put the subcategories on here, so we didn't mess with that, but they would still get closer to the mark with this panel. I did just kind of wing it with some text here. It's probably not right. This headline and the text needs some nudging, but you know, something to warm it up here about all the options available. We thought about a feed or something here, but I don't know. I just kind of liked the nice big impact of the guys. They're, you know, it's photogenic. It's a nice pose. I thought it worked well, so I put these guys in here for the community section, but this could be treated some other ways. Okay. And then we've kind of just got, you know, again, it's more images, but this is gallery based. So this wouldn't take them to a specific page. It just has a sampling of different ideas if somebody doesn't even know if they want to do a deck or they want to do a pergola or whatever it is. And then a new page it would take them to that would have that filterable gallery, and that's all it's about. Yeah, they can click and it pops up. Yes, exactly. And then a much simplified footer. We moved the badges down here. Of course, your social media, the 2 license numbers, a couple of really basic footer links, and then, of course, the emphasis again on your locations. We can do anything. I guess it was the part that I was least clear on. Obviously, I didn't touch this part much. So, yes, we can definitely put the video in there. The only caveat being, obviously, we need a version of the video that doesn't have graphics and the logo and stuff going on in it. If we're going to put text over the top, it ends up conflicting, you know, with the overlay text. But yeah. Sure. Or again, we could put the video set to autoplay right here behind this. It might be a lot more exciting than the slideshow. Okay. I think at the end there's like a big logo or something on here, if I recall. I really like this video. I do think it could use like just some more glamour shots of the products interspersed with the guys working, like yeah. I don't think we need longer than a minute. It it is nice. Like video producers always want to make it come to a finish like they did with that one, but we want this one to loop naturally. So we don't want the big, like this is the end of the thing. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so this, I'm going to kind of show you the process a little bit that I went through for this page, because this is the location/specials page. Yep. Yeah. It won't be an actual development site, but what I do is I put it into this tool. I think you've seen some of this before. And so it will kind of show you, it'll show you that the sticky header is there. There will be some navigation it fakes being a website, but it's still just a mock-up. And for that as well, I do want to say I'm happy to get feedback on those however you want, but this tool does allow for you to, when you're looking at it, put comment directly on it and show me exactly what it is that you're talking about. So, yeah. Okay, so the location specials page, I started out in one direction, and what it showed me is that there's a lot of content to fit on these pages, and it was really spreading it out way too much. Like, we need to get to the meat of the matter. I didn't really want the deals below the fold here. I also didn't know how important this stuff is, the contact emails. Do people use that a lot or not so much? Yeah, I didn't really do much with it because I didn't know. I mean, on this version, I did make it an accordion situation where it pops open um, to see the rest of it. Okay, okay. But still, as you can see, like the photo gets too much real estate. Like it just took up a lot of room. And so I don't know. I worked on a second version where I really just condensed everything a lot more and also brought in this Google review feed for the location itself. And then we, depending on the screen, this still might not be above the fold, but it's not on a very far scroll to get down to it. Here's the only issue with that, Jess, is that the deals take up a lot of real estate. It's a okay, okay.
Will we still have
I'm not pushing super hard on it, but yeah, we liked the idea of trying to merge the two into one page. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but it's something that we'd like to consider is putting them all in one place.
anything on that?
Okay. So for now, you think send this as is, or would you like to see a rework of this in some way before we send it? Okay. Okay. The embedding the Google Map is an important SEO piece, so we can definitely make it smaller, but I don't think it should go away. This guy? Yeah, I wasn't sure. So, as you know, I know you said you were maybe taking some team shot images. not all of the storefront images are equal. Like this is the prettiest one, right? There's like the Salem one or something is just yikes. You know, I wouldn't want to give it that much real estate. So I don't know what to do about that, or if we'd be replacing this with the team image to give it a more human feel, or if it's important that people see what the store looks like so that they recognize it when they get there. Or I don't know. And did you say those had already been taken, or those are in the works planning? Okay. 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 Moving on. Fence landing page. I think, you know, right now all that's on the page pretty much is a headline and these images. So I just, again, I kind of faked up some text here. It's mixed in with some Latin to make it a little bit longer because I was just kind of doing it on the fly. I think it needed a better headline and a little text to warm it up before they get these. And then also went ahead and added this again from the home page as a call to action, a form rather than a button to the form. And then, of course, showing here what we can do with the blog categorization so we can have a feed on the page of fencing specific posts. I did take the date off of the feed appearance just in case, you know, because obviously if we're going to be showing feeds that are category specific, they might not be so recent. So, okay. And then I put this here, and I thought this would be unclickable because right now your people click it and they go to a page that literally just says coming soon and there's nothing there. And so yeah, yeah. Okay. And then we've got we definitely could do something like that. I literally just took a screenshot of what you currently had and put it on here, but we could definitely update it to have that sort of function, yes. Okay. And then here would be, once you get on a sub page, I think what fencing is the only one that's like this that has sub categories. But I thought it would be nice to have this on page menu for that so that then they can, you know, click from one to the other when they're browsing, instead of having to go back up to this mega menu situation or to go back like they currently have to do. They can just go right, from one right to the other. Yes. Yeah. Okay. And the blog archive, I didn't get down to the full update of the blog post itself yet, but I thought, currently, I probably, as you know very well, it's stacked, and so it takes a lot to get through there. So I thought putting them side by side, shorter excerpts, smaller pictures, helps people see more on the page. And then the only other thing here is that then when they get to the bottom, they can actually go through more. Yeah, which right now the pagination is missing. Yes, it would look like this as well. I do want to show a clicked state. So again, right now, this has a hover state, but I would like it so that once you click it, it stays red like that, so that there's a little visual indicator. Exactly. It'll change this up here to the name of the category, but I think a little visual indicator is good as well on the side there. And then you had approved. So I'm sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking. Well, I'm going to give you a chance to say something here if you've got some comments or anything. So we don't have to have all of these show over here. I don't think that it's a bad idea to have these over here. I think it's good. As you know, we don't expect a lot of people to come to the blog and click around. It's a small percentage of visitors that would actually do that. But if they do it, it's good to have them be able to have this filterability. So maybe the idea is, your categories seem pretty good and concise to me. Sometimes we see clients come to us with a blog where the categories are just like crazy and all over the place, but this seems fairly tidy to me. But do you have any thoughts, Jess? I will I will say probably my guess is that probably part of what you hate about this is that currently it shows up on the posts as well. And we want to get rid of that. And so I haven't been able to mock that up yet. I didn't get to it, but the idea would be that, once they click into one of these items, that this wouldn't be here. The post would flow all the way across the page here, and this would be gone. And instead, what we would give them is, when they get to the bottom, there would be a next post, previous post, and there would be other posts in this category, a form. I do think that we should get rid of all of this, the recent and the archives. I don't think there's any reason to show any of that, so we can just leave it to the categories and be done with it. Yep. Yep. So you can see here, we've got the filtering. And again, if you click this, it does show a selected state for that category. And then once you click into the post, we've got back to the blog right here. The category is clickable again, so that would take them back to the category. And then we've got related posts, back to blog, previous, and next. It lets them get everywhere without that huge thing on the side taking up all the space. Okay. And then, so the next thing, I guess, is moving on from concept to actual what we did. So I was supposed to have fancified 2 of the blog posts that Ashley wrote for you and you guys collaborated on. I only got to 1 of them, but didn't do a ton, but just added pictures, added some little separators here, some visuals to make it a little more readable. Yeah, I think it needs a little more homogeneous styles here. I've kind of gone a little bit too wide with some varying headline styles, but yeah, I think we'll get this a little more tucked in, and I'll do the other one, and then you can hopefully still approve them before you leave. Yes, yeah, it's not, yeah, it's not that much work. It's just a crunch timeline. Correct. They're draft form. Gotcha. I can publish it for 5 seconds, get the link, and then unpublish it. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. Anything we need to look at again or talk about some more? Or, of course.